recording.
Okay.
All right, then I guess we'll start then.
Oh boy.
Okay. Well, everybody, welcome to Goblin Town. Thanks for showing up again. So I'm gonna recap what happened last time. So let me go to map of the city. So this is a map of Goblin Town, which is a neighborhood in the city of Clark. Goblin Town. There was a murder in Goblin Town, and our adventurers tried to solve it. They investigated, and they were able to apprehend the culprit. The culprit was the leader of the Bone Munchers, the Butchers Guild, and as a result of that, the building has caught on fire, and the murderer has been disposed of. The murderer happened to be a monster known as a Barghest, a kind of boogeyman to goblins everywhere. So the Barghest lies slain on the floor of the Butchers Guild. The building is on fire, and let's see. I'm looking at the. And we have Graldal Hudrick, a goblin. Genera, a hobgoblin. Aetheri, a half-elf, half-human. And Hawk, standing triumphant in the building. Hawk realizes that she feels a strong feeling of accomplishment having defeated this evil, and she quickly retires.
Go out on top.
Okay, so all right, yeah, that's it. Go out when you're at a high point. So Gradal, Genera, Aetheri. What do you do now?
Well, last we left off, I was dancing around the beast's corpse and decorating it with flowers around me.
That's funny.
Okay.
But we should probably
How about a theory?
Yeah, we probably should put out the fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, it's fine.
Although I think
Go ahead.
Do we search him for stuff? We search the body, right? See what he had on him. Or while I'm gonna search. While he's putting flowers.
I think I start to look around and probably decide that we should probably try to put the fire out before we all die.
Okay.
Okay. Well, the thing is though, when the goblin transformed into his true form as the Barghest, his clothing and his belts and everything he was wearing did not transform with him. So it sort of burst off his chest and off his arms, and fell to the ground. But all he was wearing was let me see if I can pull up the picture. All he would have been wearing would be.
Not to be a total butthead, but can whoever's got the barking dog, can they mute themselves?
I'm sorry.
Not to be mean. I mean, I know they're animals, but it's like the only thing you can hear on the
that's
sound.
Okay. I got it.
Okay, so this is very good, but okay. So this is a picture of the former leader of the Butchers, and as you can see on him, he's not really wearing a lot of equipment. He's got some sort of leather shoes, bloody apron, the belt, not much else. So no corpse looting right now.
Okay.
The other goblins are the other butcher goblins are now running around. Now they're trying to figure out like where to get some water. Some of them are running north toward the river. Fortunately, it's not that far. And they're trying to get buckets.
I believe. I don't think I had it prepared, but I think there was like a create food and water cantrip. That I might have, but I didn't have it prepared, so it's irrelevant. I don't have it prepared. It's druid spell, but I don't have it prepared.
If it's a cantrip,
Creator first level transmutation.
Yes. Okay. All right. So, Genera, is there anything you'd like to do? While people are still running around.
I actually have to apologize. I kind of missed half that because I decided to go and pick my dog up, so he needs like constant attention.
No.
No.
We're still people are still running around. Some of the other goblins are running to get water from the river.
We made it
But right now there is no organized attempt to put out the fire. And all the shouting is now bringing in attention from other goblins off the street, from the other buildings. Well, I'm trying to hint, wink, wink. You're going to have to explain yourself soon.
Yeah. Okay, then maybe I should try to kind of rally up these other goblins
How much
to
of it have
start
you? Oh, that's not too bad.
getting this fire under control.
You just have to eat it.
And I'll join in on that.
Alright.
To rock, otherwise.
Okay, great. So for Theory and Genera, that's pretty easy for both of you. Just because you're larger, you're taller, you can shout farther. Michael, for you, I actually.
Well, we got there at 11.
What? Okay, for everybody who's attempting to control the crowd or get people to follow your command, why don't you roll a? I want you to roll a. Persuasion. Roll a persuasion check.
In persuasion, that doesn't include me, right? Because I'm still
Yeah.
out of it. Okay.
Okay. All right. So Michael rolls 11. Genera rolls a 6. Michael, you are able to get 2 or 3 goblins with you. So you have
The grape isn't as bad as I thought
you
it
have
would be.
one goblin named Gleep, and you have another goblin called Gloop. Gleep and Gloop. They're gonna help you.
All right.
Yes. Genera.
So,
go ahead, Michael.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I was just gonna say, since I am a goblin, I am a member, someone in the town. What I know about sources of water nearby.
Well, hopefully you're looking at the map now. I forgot to change it for you. I think you see it now. You are now at the butchers. So the soap makers probably don't have water. The brewers probably have water. The bakers probably have some water. And then there's the river.
Yeah. I think what I can do is send them to the river, and while I don't have the create and destroy water prepared. What I do have is I do have Druid Craft, which does say that I can put out a flame within a 5-foot cube. That's in the spell description.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, okay, good. So you can go ahead and start to do that because the original flames were only about a 5-foot cube, and they have not spread far. So you can use that to start to control it.
Yeah, I'll do that. So I'll do that.
Okay, so Michael gives his commands, and he points north in the direction of the river, and they quickly hustle off. And he strides into the room. The fire has begun to crawl across the floor, and Michael is able to put out the large origin of the fire. But there are char marks
This is an
as
icky hair.
it begins
Keep
to
your hair
crawl
to
across.
yourself.
Janera, you you stand tall and intimidating above the crowd of goblins. Unfortunately, you are too intimidating, and they just sort of stare at you. And they're like, ah. And it's confusing. They don't know what to do. At this moment, a tall figure, a tall dark figure comes striding in with a bit of chink of armor and a heavy footfall, and a half orc shows up at the edge of the crowd. This half orc is carrying a large great axe on their back. Okay. There's a bit of a look of surprise upon seeing the excitement in the crowd. Okay, so go ahead, short round. What's your reaction?
So I would probably I would think that I would be busting through the crowd, pushing all of the goblins aside, and heading right towards the adventurers, saying, "You took my kill" at the top of my lungs. What did you do? Basically.
There is now more shouting.
Yeah, lots of shouting.
I would look up and say, "Hi, we just defeated an eldritch beast from my deepest nightmares. What's your name?"
God, I forgot how much I lost him.
I think I would stare blankly into your face, like, "Excuse me."
I'm trying to remember now. So short round, you are Dagmar.
Mhm.
Dagmar. How tall are you again?
I'd say probably 5'11". Let's go 5'11".
Okay.
Tall.
So you're 5'11", and let's see. Because Grathal is not that tall. Grathal is only supposed to be.
Very small.
I'm trying to find. Let's see, Grathal. How tall are you again? You are
3 foot 5 or something like that.
3'4". Okay, so you basically come up to Dagmar's belly button, more or less. Okay, just making sure. Well, the shouting of "You stole my kill" it's confusing some of the butchers because they've also have to deal with dead animals, and so now they're running. They got thoroughly scared. There is a crowd forming, but the goblins are beginning to put out the fire. Okay. So Graudal, Dagmar, go ahead. Introduce yourselves into each other.
I would say that Dagmar is probably looking down and saying, "My name is Dagmar, and the beast you killed is supposed to be mine." And she just kind of folds her arms and she's just staring down.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to take out a flower from behind my back. I'm going to hold it up to Dagmar. And sort of like the hippie in the movie Airplane when he's, here's a flower from the Church of Religious Conscience.
Oh, right. Classic.
Here.
To that, Dagmar looks down at Groundall's flower, and she looks around at the crowd. She looks around at everybody. Still, her arms are folded, and she shouts, "Who's in charge here? Who's actually in charge here?" Just ignoring the flower.
If I do a sleight of hand check, can I just sort of surreptitiously tuck it into her belt and just back away?
Roll it.
Oh my god.
Right.
Dagmar does not approve.
Hey, not bad.
Oh no.
Okay. All right, Dagmar. Why don't you roll perception?
Okay. Hold up. Persuasion. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So
There's that.
Groundall.
And it's the most bright colored one I could get my hands on.
So Groundall not so deftly places and tucks a very colorful flower in Dagmar's belt. But Dagmar is so upset and angry and confused at the situation, she does not notice. At the shout of who's in charge, more of the goblins are confused because the person who was killed was the goblin in charge.
Yeah.
And then I'll just go back to the business of casting, because it's a cantrip and I can do it multiple times. It's just going to cast Druidcraft again and again and again until I feel like most of the fire's out.
Okay. So you and Gleep and Gloop have also been able to put it out. And under your direction, people are starting to. Some of the butcher goblins are beginning to clean up the mess. But now you have a large crowd. You have a crowd of like 40, 56 goblins, and they're all just staring at you. And they're trying to look inside. They're asking each other. They're asking the butcher goblins, like, what's happening? Who's this person that's shouting? Someone get the guard! Someone get the guard! Like, okay, and so you see a few goblins sort of run off.
Oh no.
I'm actually looking at a theory right now. A theory, are you there?
Yes. So I'm looking at
theory.
this half.
Yes. Go for it.
Can you hear me?
Go for it.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just looking at this half orc that walked in, yelling, "Who's in charge?" And I point to the body.
The body of the beast. The body of the Argus.
Yes. He was in charge.
I think at that Dagmar would be very confused. Dagmar is shouting even more. I want to know who is in charge of killing the beast. I want to know who ordered this, because that was supposed to be mine. I was supposed to kill the beast.
So Gradal, a theory, Genera, I guess you're being demanded an explanation of your actions. So you're going to have to talk to Dagmar about this.
So that's when Genera pipes in, and she's like, well, this beast murdered one of the other guild leaders, and we were tasked with figuring out who it was. And we discovered that it was the Bone Munchers guild leader, and determined that he was a bar guest. And so the only way to figure out that for sure he was a bar guest, we set the butchery on fire.
Dagmar. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, now at this explanation, there are tremendous gasps from the crowd. Okay, there some of the people, like the younger people, some of the children begin to cry at the thought that there was an actual bar guest here in Goblin Town. Okay, so all the oh my goodness, across the crowd goes. Okay. And there are more peaks. More people are crowding toward the window to try to see this bar guest. Some people scream. Some people throw up. Okay, keep going.
Dagmar wants to know, tasked by who? So she's approaching you and she's asking and she's demanding. You were tasked by who? Who tasked you to do this? And then she waits for a response.
If I remember from last thing, it was the mayor of Goblin Town, right? Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody tell Dagmar that?
Well, I don't know. Do we have to worry about you going and beating up the mayor? Like,
excuse me, Dagmar. If I'm so bold, who was it exactly who hired you to do it?
That's none of your business. Now tell me who tasked you with my kill.
Well, there was the mayor. I'm cool with telling you who it is. I just figured you. That's all. You're big.
Where's the mayor? Where's the mayor? So now she's stomping around. She's absolutely pissed off.
Well.
Why did you want?
As just so happens, because remember that the Butchers Guild is actually right next to the mayor's mansion.
Oh, very convenient. Off I go.
Well, you don't have to wait that long, because the mayor starts to stroll on up rather hurriedly. Rather huffing and puffing with the little pig, having some difficulty trying to hustle, because the Goblin Mayor wears 3 hats, so he has to hold his hand really high up in order to keep all 3 hats on his head.
It's really cute. Well, Dagmar immediately approaches the mayor, pointing her great axe at the pig. she's like, I heard a bounty. There's a bounty on this beast. I deserve some pay. I was going to kill the beast. I need that money. And she's pointing the axe at the pig.
Don't you dare hurt that piggy.
The mayor is absolutely terrified of the fact that you're threatening his pig. Okay. Let me see. I'm trying to remember the. Yes. He quickly scoops up the pig in his arms and whimpers like, no, you are not going to. You are not good. Please don't harm Daintyfoot. Not my Daintyfoot.
Well, Dagmar is just screaming at this point. If you're not gonna give me money, then I'm gonna eat your pig. I'm gonna eat your pig.
Here, why don't you roll an intimidation? This is an intimidation check. Go for it. Around.
Okay. Oh, okay. Fine. Oh no.
Okay. So Dagmar begins to shout and scream, but there's a little bit of a crack in her voice. I'm gonna eat your pig! However, you are much larger than the mayor, and the mayor is thoroughly sophisticated goblin. and throws down a bag of money at your feet.
Heck yeah.
Quickly hurries away.
Okay. Okay.
A call.
Excuse me. We were the ones hired to do this. If I might be so bold.
No.
The mayor is quickly hurrying away.
That's it. I cast charm person on Dagmar.
No. You can't. Can I cast block? Can I cast block on that charm?
What block is that? If you're half wizard and you have counterspell, go for it. But I don't think you are half wizard. All right. Go. All right, go ahead. Okay, so. Gradal. I don't know how. When you cast spells. I have the book open. But what I mean is, when people cast spells, there is a sort of very obvious gestures or words or materials that go with it. And when you so Gradal begins to speak words and wave his hands. Is there any sort of specific flavor you'd like to give to that, Gradal?
Not particularly. I'm tiny and I don't like this shouting giant half orc in front of me.
Okay. Then. So, go ahead and roll a wisdom saving throw, Dagmar.
Okay. Let's go. Trying to get my computer to cooperate.
She saves.
Okay. So. It's kind of amazing. All right, so Gradal sort of waves his hands about in the air, but Dagmar's barbarian rage, it just breaks through. And Dagmar continues to shout. However, some of the guards are now showing up, and let me see. Trying to find. Oh yes. So two very large guards. Those of you who are familiar, these are the two guards who run who protect the bank. They are two hobgoblins. They are named Gobo Pig Iron and Gerald Brass. They are tall, they are muscular, and they are wearing these kind of devil masks that they use to sort of intimidate people. It's part of their uniform. They always wear it, but it is intimidating. And so they show up, and they're looking at Dagmar, and like, all right now, calm down here, buddy. What's all this shouting here? And they do have their hands on their weapons.
Well, to that, I would say Dagmar is satisfied that Groudal has given up. And so she's picking up the bag of money, and she's saying like, I'm done with it. And she's walking away with the bag of money. She's trying to.
I want to stealth in there and try to grab the bag. At the same time that Dagmar's going for it.
No, don't need the rest of that.
You're just gonna snatch it out of her hand right before she can grab it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The thief does not like being stolen from.
Dagmar's pissing off everybody.
Okay. They're very confident. No, she's very confident. Okay.
Would that be Dex?
Okay. Let's do a sort of. We're just gonna roll Dex. It's not a Dex save. It's just a Dex roll. You're just gonna contest against each other. So each of you roll, make a Dex roll.
Okay. That's each of us.
Oh no! All right. Oh no! You gotta be kidding me.
Okay. So just to point out, so Dagmar, technically yours is a dex save.
Okay.
okay.
It doesn't really matter because you still fail. So
Shoot.
Dagmar reaches down with a kind of slow old man to reach down and grab the bag. And in theory was also kind of I got it. I just barely snatches it out of her hand. All right. So a theory now stands with the bag in her hand. Tagmar, your prize, the prize that you sought, has been stolen from your fingertips. Okay.
At that point, Dagmar is still holding her great axe in her hand. She was holding it in one hand. Now she's holding it in both. She's standing her ground. She's putting up a stance, and she's demanding a fight from a theory.
So I can dash, right?
Okay.
I'm out of there. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. If now we'll have to be careful. We can do combat right now, and we can do combat rules if you'd like. But what we can do right now, I think we're gonna forego the initiative. And so just a theory. Because you're a rogue, you can use your bonus action. I forget the name of it, but you can use your bonus action to dash or disengage.
Yeah.
Either or. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So you can use your action to disengage, then your bonus action to dash, and then use your move. To basically just book.
Or at least to back off. You can stand and fight. Try to talk. And just back off and be like, ho, hold up. Let's talk about this. But far enough away from her axe.
All right. So Dagmar. Go ahead.
Okay. Dagmar is trying to cool herself off. She's kind of huffing and puffing. She's trying to cool herself off. She's still holding the great axe, but she's kind of letting it kind of rest on the ground. She's still holding it though. And she's looking over at a theory from afar, and she said, "What's there to talk about? What's there to talk about? I need that money."
Well, we earned this money. So it's who's paying you? Who told you to come here? Who are you working for?
Dagmar stays quiet. She's just watching. She doesn't want to say. She's calculating. She's thinking in her head. She's going back and forth. She's trying to decide on what to say. She's kind of at a loss.
Okay. So since your focus is on a theory, the two guards from the bank now form a triangle. They basically encircled you, Dagmar.
Oh god.
If I might interject for just a moment, perhaps the most equitable thing to do to avoid violence would be for us all to split this money, particularly since one of our number has decided to do a runner, and perhaps that seems to be the most equitable thing. Again, not really the priority since I just faced down an eldritch being from my worst nightmares. Eat my friend's soul.
Dagmar is kind of calculating. She's thinking that she has honor. She believed she was kind of rash. She believed that she did earn that money. She wasn't quite sure what was going on, and now she's looking over at Gradal and she's saying, I will work for that money. Tell me what to do, and I will work for that money. And then she's kind of looking at the guards around her, just kind of trying to like solve this peacefully and find an out. She doesn't know what's going to happen to her. She doesn't want those guards to take her away.
Well, first we say we're sorry.
I'm not saying sorry.
No, not sweetheart. Not to me, sweetheart. To the guard.
Dagmar is just standing firm. She's pouting. She's just standing there. She's like slowly raising up the war axe. Just like, no.
Again, this is not any impugnement of your honor. This is simply to help you avoid jail time.
She kind of thinks about it, and then she kind of mutters sorry. But while she's doing that, she's reaching into the belt and she's grabbing the brightly colored flower that she's aware of, and then she's crumpling it in her hand as she's saying sorry and letting it drop onto the floor.
So barbaric.
She's waiting for the guards to back away and give her some space. She's not comfortable being circled.
So the guards are not okay. The guards don't quite. They're giving you kind of a side eye. Like they don't trust you because you came in here shouting. And they at least saw you threaten the mayor, and you have a large axe in your hands.
The pig threatened the pig, not the mayor. There's a difference.
That pig is the apple of the mayor's eye. Everybody knows that.
She says Dagmar is just kind of she sighs really loudly, and she just kind of says even louder, just snippety, just like, I'm sorry, okay? And she waits to see what the guards do.
The guards look at Graddoll, and you're like they're looking at you and they're like, okay, you take the money now. We're not gonna split it, but we're not a part of this. But we don't want any fighting in the streets.
Dagmar nods her head one time.
Perhaps if a flower is out of the question, perhaps my friends and I could buy you a drink.
Sounds like a plan.
Dagmar nods her head again, and then she kind of like tries to slide out from in between the guards and just kind of get out of there quickly. And then she kind of stands behind you guys. She approaches you guys, and she just kind of stands there with her eyes just on her feet, not looking up, not looking at anybody.
So the guards from the bank just look at each other quizzically. They look at Graddoll, and they sort of give him like, so you okay? You got this?
I give them just a slight nod and a thumbs up, and I think I would probably have to roll a deception check to not let on that I'm quietly crapping my pants.
Well, go ahead if you'd like to do a deception check.
Would I be able to roll perception or something too to see? Dagmar's kind of curious about whether or not this group.
Did not go.
Oh God.
Oh, okay.
We all noticed.
So there's a profuse amount of sweat coming off of Graddoll's temples.
Well, then they're probably not home.
Okay, so Dagmar, if you'd like, you can roll an insight check.
I mean, you
Okay.
can. It's fine.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Good roll.
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Fantastic. Okay.
I'm back online now.
All right, great. Dagmar, who were you looking at again?
Majority looking at Groudal, just trying to see, he invited me to follow them to the bar. She kind of wants to know whether or not they can be trusted. She's just trying to figure out what's going on with this group.
Okay. Well, Grandal obviously looks very, very nervous. You can see sweat off his temples. You can start to see the clear wet marks in his armpits. However, he doesn't seem to be lying. He's clearly intimidated, but there's no sort of smirk. There's no sort of grin. There's no ingenuous grin to him. He's not gonna attack you.
Okay. So Dagmar is kind of letting her guards down. She's putting the great axe back onto her back, and she's just kind of her fists are balled, and she's just kind of following behind them, but trying to increasingly relax a little bit more.
You still have the gold, bag of gold in your hand, or what did you do with it, Dagmar?
Oh, I have the gold. Oh, okay.
Theory has it. Sorry, Theory has it. Sorry.
Give me my gold.
I want to ask Dagmar. Did you have another mission here, or was that your only mission?
Dagmar says that was the only one I have.
Okay. And are you traveling alone, or are you with another group of adventurers?
She stays kind of quiet, and she I think it's obvious she's alone, and she's just kind of standoffish about that.
Okay. Well, should we take up Groudal's suggestion and go have a beer?
Yes.
I
think we all need it after this.
What's next for you? Yeah.
But if Dagmar does not have the money, she's eyeing it. If you have it, she's eyeing it because it was promised. Her share was promised to her.
Let's go talk, and maybe we can work something out.
Okay.
And I whispered to Janera that we could probably use her help if we can trust her.
I whispered to Theory, I'm like, yeah, I totally agree.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just gonna be following behind, closely behind Ethereal, just staring at the bag of money.
Vaguely good now.
I think on the way to the bar, I just keep bumping into Groudal because I'm not even paying attention. He's underfoot, and I'm just trying to keep on a theory and not realizing what I'm doing.
Poor Gretel.
And I just rolled another 20 and another sleight of hand check to put a flower in her belt again.
Very good. Okay. Dagmar, if you'd like to roll a perception check.
Yeah. Perception. I noticed.
With a natural 20 on sleight of hand.
It's pretty good. So Dagmar, as Dagmar sort of calms down and begins to really focus, she's able to see across the crowd and notice everything, and she seems more lucid. But she still doesn't notice the flower that's now in her belt again. So the crowd dissipates a little bit. Some of them are still looking at the monster that's lying in the floor. the butcher goblins are trying to figure out what to do with it. The guards from the bank sort of shrug their shoulders and walk back. I want all of you to make perception checks. Except Dagmar, you just did it.
Okay.
So I'd like one from Gradal, Etheria, and Genera.
Wow.
Alright, I'd like one more from Genera.
There we go.
Okay. Did it roll?
Yeah, it's on my screen. Yeah, it's on my
Okay,
screen.
there it is. Oh, okay, there it goes.
There it is.
Okay, there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Very perceptive, this group.
No kidding.
All of you look over your shoulder and you look back toward the mayor's mansion. The mayor's mansion is the largest building in Goblin Town, and it's like 3 stories tall. You noticed that in a window on the top floor is the mayor holding the pig, sort of still trembling a little bit, and looking down on you.
I wave at him.
He's just like unsure. Are they gonna be safe?
All right. So was that Dagmar waved at him?
Genera.
Genera waved. Okay, Genera waved. Okay, Genera waved. And the mayor is just kind of trembling and like not sure what to do. Okay. Just sort of nervously waves a little bit back at Genera. Okay. So you're going to go get a drink.
I would say too before we come out of the way, like before we travel too far away from the mayor's mansion, Dagmar being in the back of the group, she kind of turns around because she sees Genera waving at the mayor. So she kind of turns around, looks at the mayor, and then she kind of like puts her a finger over her neck and does that just like swipe motion. Points at a little pig, and then just turns around and follows the group away.
The mayor immediately slams the shutters closed and hides. Okay.
I'll be back.
All right. So you can either go to the brewers directly, the fire boilers, or you can try to go to another tavern for drinks if you'd like.
I wanted to come home and unwind.
Is the fire boilers the closest?
Well, yeah, because everybody's about right here. Sort of standing in the street. So you could just do that. You could just walk down in like half a block.
Yeah, we haven't been there yet.
Okay.
I want to eat more of my
Okay then. So you begin to sort of stroll down the street, and the crowd has to part a little bit for you as you head down toward the fire boilers. Okay. So you stand in front of the fire boilers. It smells very strongly of alcohol. There are large vats in the building. Some of the workers are staring out from the windows and they're looking at the other building. Some of them are looking at you. See.
So the people there weren't aware of what happened over by the warehouse and the mayor's mansion.
Well, They heard some of the noise and the ruckus from your fight with the monster inside the Butcher's Guild building. They heard the shouting in the street. And there's a few people that might have gone to investigate. But for the most part, people who were working kept working. There was just a few people that were on break or whatever that went to check you out. Specifically, the guild leader did not leave. The guild leader's always busy. So let me see if I can find that guild leader. Ah, there it is. Here we go. So this is a picture of the guild leader of the brewers, the fire boilers. Okay. So you're standing in front of the building. What does the group do?
I'd imagine knock on the door.
All right. So you begin to knock on the door. A few people who are at the window already are like they're asking you what happened, what's going on. The guild leader here that you see here opens the door, and there's just this flood of questions coming at you, like, what's happening out there? Did you see what happened?
Did anyone else want to speak, or should I go ahead, or?
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're the goblin. They probably trust you more than the rest of us.
Our friend who is the guild leader of the soft hands. Well, we solved his murder, and we have destroyed the beast that killed him.
There's a look of shock on all their faces, like, beast? What beast?
I'd love to tell you, but I don't want to send you into a panic. But I'll go up close to his ears, his big ears, and I'll whisper,
okay.
Don't tell anybody else. It was a bar guest.
Okay. While he's doing that, you hear some shouts from the back. Was it a Sasquatch? Was it a Sasquatch? Pterodactyl?
That's right. On repeating the sounds.
It's back.
It was totally a pterodactyl.
What sound does the pterodactyl make again?
Dagmar is just kind of rolling her eyes, just arms folded, just listening to all this in the back.
The guild leader. Let me pull up. Okay. Yeah. So the guild leader's name is Clid, Fire Boiler. She sort of takes a step back and is very surprised. Like, are you sure? That's just a story. Art. Like that's not real. Can't be real.
I mean, you could go over to the Bone Munchers and see it for yourself.
They'd believe Brad, all right? They'd believe him.
They believe him as another goblin, and Gradell's an odd duck, but Gradell's an accomplished goblin. So they don't think he's lying. But this is the equivalent of someone saying that the boogeyman is real. It's very strange.
Given the circumstances, Rocklid, could we have a table and 4 beers, please?
Yes, sure, of course.
An IPA for me, extra hoppy.
Of course. Like the way you always like it.
Of course.
She does a kind of
hops are flowers, guys.
she does the kind of like with her hands. It's like, hey, we need some tables and mugs for Gradal and his friends. And so a few other goblins show up and quickly take Gradal. They lead Gradal, Dagmar, Etheria, and Genera further into the building. They're sort of interesting Gradal because Gradal's given some news. And they're asking him, Gradal, what is it? They're very curious. But they look up at Dagmar, Etheria, and Genera. All three of you tower over all of them. Because remember that goblins generally are only about 3 to 4 feet tall. And I know that all of you, or rather Dagmar and Genera are both the same height at about 5'11", and I think Etheria is the only one that's like 5'6", if I remember. Right.
5'2". She's shorter.
Oh, 5'2", okay.
Yeah.
5'2". Okay. So the goblins come up to like your mid chest, but for the rest of for Dagmar and Genera, they only come about up to their belly buttons. And there's sort of nervous looks about them, like, do we have chairs big enough for them? Are they gonna break the chairs if they sit down in them?
Also wondering that.
So they lead you toward a table in the middle of the. They bring you toward some tables that are actually in the courtyard, just outside the back of the building. The tables are small. They are, and the chairs are goblin sized. So Dagmar and Genera are going to have to squat a little bit. For a theory, it's more okay. Your knees are a little bit high, but it's okay. For Gradal, it's just right.
Dagmar looks miserable.
What I'd like to do to help Dagmar feel better is you take out the flour, but instead he takes out not from the bag, because Etheria has that, but he takes out one of his own pieces of coin and says, puts it down and says, "We survived. First round's on me."
With that, one of the goblins, thanks you, slides it into their palm, and then asks you each, what would you like?
I'll have a dwarven ale. Do you have that?
Right.
Do you have that? Do you have a menu?
Yeah. That's good.
What do you offer?
Okay. All right. So Dagmar asked for a menu, right?
Oh no, not me.
Sorry. I'm getting a little confused. Okay, Genera's like, okay, you want a menu? One of the goblins says yes right away, and then walks off. One of them is asking dwarven ale. We do our best, but the dwarves always make fun of us when we try to make the ale. We prefer to call it a bear ale. That's the best we can do. Okay.
That sounds great. I'll have one of those.
Okay. Gradal is getting an extra hoppy IPA, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Dagmar, did you have anything in mind specifically?
Dagmar's just asking the goblin for the strongest thing they got. Whatever that would be.
There is a little... There's a couple looks of surprise, and there's a few grins. Another goblin comes up. And they're like, here, I have the menu for you. What the menu is, actually, is a large bowl. And the bowl has strips of cloth in it. And so they hand you the bowl, and they say, well, a lot of us can't read, So we don't have a menu. Instead, we have a bowl and we dip the cloths in vats or in the alcohol or the drinks. So you have to take each of the strips and sort of smell them or like suck on them slightly to figure out the flavor that you prefer.
Oh, they're like testers.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
fabulous.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool. um,
Do a tasting, like bring out like 5 strips.
so I guess Dagmar is doing a tasting, but instead she's more inclined to take all the strips out and just drink everything dry, kind of revealing that she's a bit of an alcoholic.
Well, the problem is that they're not sopping wet. Like you can't drink it. You can suck on it maybe, but it's not enough for a drink. It's not enough
There's
for a
not
sip.
enough in the bowl. Oh gosh. I guess at that point Dagmar is saying, "I'll take one of everything." And she's looking over at Gratal. Just like, you're gonna pay for this, right?
So, for Genera and your choices, they have several varieties. They have some that are more sweet. They have some that are more dry. There are some that you can tell that are much stronger. So you can sort of pick a specific flavor that you'd like, or you can tell them to combine some.
Huh. Okay. So maybe I will get something on the stronger side, but with a sweeter taste.
Right. Okay. All right. So you smell or you lightly taste some of the strips and you make your choice. And the goblin then takes the strips back from you, the bowl back from you, and then walks off. Okay. So all of you are sitting at the table. It's a nice, bright, warm summer day. And there are still a few shouts that you can hear off in the distance, but for the most part, the workers are going about what they normally do here at the brewers. So now is the time, I guess, for you all to get to know each other in a much more civilized manner.
We can try.
And we all just sit here quietly.
I know. Like,
Dagmar with her like
Okay.
many drinks laid out in front of her. She just
So, that was an interesting time, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it was.
I think Dagmar would take like a sip of a drink and then look over at everyone saying like, "So how did you kill it? How did it go down?"
Actually, that was all on a theory. She was the only one that really did any damage.
Short sword, stabbing, whipping from behind.
I know,
sneak
he
attack.
took it out with a whip. I can't believe he did that.
So weird.
And then Dagmar is kind of like pointing a thumb at Graudal, saying like, "And what did he do?"
Actually, Gretel was very, very brave.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much.
Did you give him a flower or something?
No, it was more of a sort of support capacity. I can do all sorts of interesting things, like I have a spell called Bless that helps people on their saving throws and their attacks. And well, of course I don't say saving throws and attacks, but I basically explain some of the things that my spells can do and whatnot.
So as you begin to recount the tale, there are a few other of the goblins that are sort of leaning in. Oh, Gradal. Wait, all of you are now describing the monster. How much of the monster are you describing?
I'll go all the way, like hesitantly, like it's difficult for me to talk about, but I'll describe it as accurately as I could. And I'll also say, did any of you notice anything that was different about him when he was a goblin? Was he different from the others, or was he was definitely acting suspicious, but I don't remember anything in specifically that made him different.
So as Gradal describes the monster, well, as all of you are describing the monster, you notice that a lot of the workers, they lean in and they are obviously eavesdropping. There's a few gasps you can hear, and a lot of whispers and kind of worried voices about the Bone Muncher leader having been a bar guest. Now, do any of you actually say the word bar guest?
I don't.
Okay.
I decidedly avoid it because I know enough about the culture to know that it would cause a panic if I did.
Okay. So the drinks come up, and there's a bit of a smile on the server. Like, wow, that's quite a story. I'm hearing that you've had quite the adventure. So the server places a mug in front of all of you. The mug in front of Gradal is, as he asked for, an extra hoppy IPA, and in fact, there are a few wildflowers like daisies sort of at the top on the lip of the mug.
Cute.
I just take him out and stick him back with the rest.
Yeah. The server winks at you and says that we got a few nice flowers from the petal sniffers. They also put a nice mug in front of a theory and Chinera. So a theory gets that very stout, kind of imitation of a dwarven ale, but not quite as strong. Genera gets another ale, and it actually has a nice sweet, kind of light flavor of strawberries. Now for Dagmar.
I regret my choices.
Okay. There's a bit of a worried look because the server actually doesn't hand you any mug. They kind of look up at you worried, and they sort of apologetically say, "You wanted one of everything, and you're kind of big, so we made it big person size." So three or like this train of goblin workers come up, and each of them don't have a mug in their hands. In each hand they have a pitcher, and so like
yeah!
6, 7, 8 pitchers appear in front of Dagmar
Bring
on the
it
table.
on! Bring it on! Dagmar's getting excited.
So there's a little bit of an apology toward Gradal, and you gave us a gold piece, so we assumed that you wanted a gold piece worth of drink. I hope this is okay, right?
That's okay. It's only money.
You can pay in flowers. You can pay in flowers.
Pay in flowers.
So that, I'll double check, but there is now a cornucopia of alcohol in front of all of you.
Hooray!
Okay.
This is gonna end well.
Let's see. Let's see. So this is going to be about let's see. Yeah, this is at least 3 gallons of alcohol.
Oh, wow.
Poor choices were made.
Well, okay, so I mean, in total, with all of your mugs and all of the pictures, this comes to 5 gallons of alcohol. But it's like 3 gallons in just the pictures.
Are you gonna be able to drink all that?
Not leaving that bar. You guys could go off, regroup with me later.
I can't wait until I get to 8th level and I'm immune to poison and can't get hangovers.
Oh, that must be nice.
Yeah. Oh god. So Dagmar looks super happy. She's very content. She's just kind of sitting there. She's not paying the group much attention anymore. She seems kind of lost in thought.
So, Dagmar, if you don't mind me asking, where are you from?
The North. That's all she says.
That's very specific.
She just refuses to talk about her history.
Okay.
And then she kind of looks over at you guys. She's sipping. She's waiting for people to say something, and then she says, "Where are you all from?"
Well, does anybody else want to go first, or?
No, you go ahead.
Down the
Okay.
street.
The West.
Now, DM, I'm not very, very familiar with the sort of expanded world beyond Clarg. Are there any large cities nearby?
Okay. All right. Keep talking. Or keep making drinking noises. I'm gonna bring up a map. I'm gonna put up a map.
Glug.
It basically is. I'm not as familiar with the background, but I sort of explain how I grew up in a poor family of goblins that lived in a very large city, but my whole family was wiped out in a plague that hit the city, and everybody sort of had to flee into the countryside to get away from the plague. And when we did, that's when I met a group of druids who taught me essentially everything I know. And then when I came back to the city to visit the graves of my family, there were so many dead that they had just buried them in this field outside the city. And when I arrived there months and months later in the springtime, the field had grown so rich from the bodies of the dead that it was filled with wildflowers everywhere you could see. And I sort of explained that that's sort of the reason why I carry the flowers with me all the time, because they're my family.
Yeah, we're all just.
I know. I cried. Oh my God.
I don't know if Dagmar said the
Janera
tears,
just
but I
kind
said
of-
a tear. Yeah.
It's a D&D character. He's got to have a tragic
kind of
background.
wiping
Oh my
the
God.
tears from my eyes.
And roll credits.
Right.
We're done.
Aw.
Well, shoot.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh hey.
Oh.
Well, if
On that note.
I don't know how I could top that.
This is where it happens.
So
Yeah.
So Clark is obviously down here on this corner here.
Yeah.
Let me see. Free hand. No, it's not doing it for me. Let's see, object center. While I struggle with roll 20, Okay, no, that's 14. Okay. So there it is. That's easy, Clark. So you're kind of on the end of sort of how I've imagined the world here. The next really, really big one would be Westgate over here. Most of this is sort of open wilderness, so to speak. So this would make sense for actually Dagmar to come from, because northern area. This is more where goblinoids and orcs live. So you got your goblins, your orcs, your hobgoblins, your bugbears. It's more as you go east that you find more human settlements and more elven settlements. And then there is another large one, Titor, up here at the top.
A settlement of what for Titor?
It's a city. It's if I remember, I have to remember my notes. Let you in on a secret. I have a ton of notes, and I can't remember all of them. Titor is a city, but it's like the newer version of an older city. That's closer to that lake. Titor has more elves. It's like half elves, half humans. But the area where there's 6, that's labeled 6, that would be more, like I said, goblins and orcs.
Right. Okay.
Oh, so Titor's probably where I'm from. It's mostly elves and humans?
Yes.
All right, okay. I'll go with that.
All right, fantastic.
We're just deciding now.
No, this map is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll have to put that in the handouts then. Okay.
So we're all kind of, reacting to Gretel's story still.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think by this point, Dagmar is kind of she's made her way through one picture. She's going for the next picture, so she's kind of relaxing even more and kind of dropping the kind of gruff and tough. Well, I mean, she's still gruff and tough, but the whole like standoffish, don't learn about me kind of personality. And she looks over at Gretel and she says something along the lines of like disaster, death, war. I know all these things. They're terrible. And so she kind of says that to Gretel, and she's just, just flopping around, acting a little bit just like, not entirely sure of what she's doing at this point. Are like Janira and Aetheri gonna share?
Sure, I'll go. Yeah, so I'm well, I grew up in the mostly elven village of Titor, elven and humans, but I grew up in the pub where my human mother worked. But it's just time for me to just branch out, get out of the village, and try to make my way in the world.
So Dagmar kind of looks at Aetheri and she's like, my mother was human as well. So she's just kind of slowly opening up. She probably won't remember any of this tomorrow. It's just fresh restart in the morning.
So are you looking for work, Dagmar? I mean, do you have any plans for the future? Do you want to hang with us?
She kind of just she's loopy and she's just like, anything that pays, I'll take anything.
Okay.
She'll forget this tomorrow for sure, but unless I have to roll for that, just like a memory check. Or like an insight or something. And then I guess Dagmar would look over at Janira at this point.
So Janira is kind of really hesitant to talk about herself. And so I want to roll a deception check.
Oh no!
Ooh. All right. Go ahead, do it. Okay. Go ahead and tell your story. But okay, so Janera is going to tell her story, but you notice that she stumbles a little, she stutters a little. It's an interesting story. But it's a little odd. Go, Janera, tell us your story.
So it's got a story that got gaps in it or something like that.
Okay. So I was an orphan, and I was abandoned at a monastery, and the monks there raised me, and they were all trained in the way of shadow, and so that is the art that I am adept in. I left the monastery some time ago to kind of live on my own in a hermitage and just try to kind of, gain some enlightenment, learn some different things that I wasn't really learning while I was at the monastery. And about 6 months ago, I decided to come into Clerg, and I am now currently living in, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Is it Moraine? Moraine? Where the Hobgoblin settlement is?
Okay, so let's go to there then. Let's do the city. Okay, so here is the city. Can everyone see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so the city's basically on this sort of peninsula, next to a river. Goblin Town is the northern neighborhood. This brown area. Let's go actually to the region then. The brown area that you see in the lower left-hand corner. This is a sort of mountain. It's just this large rock that just comes out of the ground. And then the little blue area is the dwarves. So they sort of dig and carve some of their settlement into, or their neighborhood into the rock of the mountain. And then the red area is the hobgoblins.
Now,
so right there.
On the other part of the map, what is the outer refugee camp that we saw there?
Okay.
Because I saw there an outer and an inner refugee camp, and I'm curious as to where the refugees are coming from.
Okay. So, in the middle of the map, you can see where the grid, that's the sort of grid of the streets. That's the city. Outside that, you have farmsteads. And then beyond the farmsteads, you have these camps of refugees. What's happening now is in the world. So remember that this area that I've labeled 6 is mostly goblins. There's actually a particular hobgoblin. The hobgoblin, his name is Kulog, and he has started a horde. So he is amassing some of the goblinoid tribes and sort of swallowing them up into his larger group. So the sort of smaller settlements here in this area here, some of the people are fleeing and moving out of it. So they're either going to Westgate, Titor, or they're coming down here to Clarg. They're actually moving all over the continent, but those are the ones that are getting the most of it. What's happening is that most of the goblins, most of the goblin refugees that are coming into the area that we're here, the city of Clarg, they're ending up in these outer areas. but some of the refugees who are human are allowed to settle in the city itself. Partially because it's overflowing. That the city can't accommodate that many new people, so a lot of them are being shoved out to the outside. If you talk to the mayor, either the human mayor or the goblin mayor, they have already set up a liaison, and there are leaders in those areas that you can talk to. Let's see. So what's happened is some of the camps are not so much in this city. The camps are not so much camps as just sort of people sleeping on the street. Whatever sort of charitable organizations are housing them, or whoever who's able to open up their doors. But most of them are centered in this this part that I've shaded gray. And they're sandwiched between the Goblin Town and the Hobgoblin borders.
Cool. Thank you.
I've written a lot of notes, everyone. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. It adds so
Yeah.
much to it.
We're absorbing.
That's really cool.
Yeah. We're gonna have to take notes ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to post all of this in the Discord chat or whatever. Like, I honestly have. Actually, let me just give you like an idea. I'm looking at the number of files I'm looking at. Let me see here. Oh, good golly.
We're like an hour in, and my page of notes in front of me is halfway full. I'm gonna have to grab another paper. This is insane.
Okay. Like the files, a lot of them have the repeated notes because they're sort of overlapping. But I have like 49 text documents. So.
Oh my god! Wow.
They're not that long.
We have a lot to explore.
Yeah.
You really fell down that homebrew rabbit hole, didn't you, man?
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, we're still there.
You know what? I realize now I have to print these out just so I can put them into a binder because I'm drawing on graph paper here, so I have to go the whole kit and caboodle for like old school D&Ding.
There you go.
Oh gosh.
I hope I did not send Michael into like a flashback or anything with that.
Oh no, the homebrew thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a little bit. A little bit, but I'm fine. Survive.
Okay, so hours have passed by. You're all sharing drinks. Dagmar, I don't know how well you hold your liquor, or I don't know you're sort of. I don't know if you're a happy drunk or an angry drunk or what.
She kind of leans more on the side of happy drunk, but like if you provoke her or you say the wrong thing or she notices something around her going on that she's not quite liking, she can turn into an angry drunk very, very quickly. She can be very, very trigger happy, but for the most part, if everything's going okay and you leave her alone and you don't like cross her boundaries, she's quite fine.
Okay.
She kind of like turns into this like war, like I'm gonna share so many war stories with you. Like the further on she goes, kind of oversharing eventually. Please don't get to that point. I'm not there yet.
Let's just keep buying her pictures.
Oh no, I mean,
So gotta keep talking. Yeah. Truth serum, yeah.
So,
forcing me to do my backstory on the fly. All right, I see.
So Dagmar is sharing maybe the third or fourth war story, maybe showing battle scars. I don't know. And you all notice that there is a goblin, and well, the two guards from the bank that you saw earlier, they are standing there, and in between them is a goblin. The goblin is dressed very nicely. Shoes, socks, pants, slicked back hair into a ponytail, and gloves. This is one of the assistants to the mayor.
Oh no.
And this assistant looks very nervous. And the guards look not well. You can't tell what the guards look like, at least on their faces. But you can kind of tell by their body language they are nonplussed that they have to do this. There is a bit of a tremble. Excuse me, from the goblin. I have been sent here as part of the mayor's mansion, at the mayor's office, and I'd like to discuss about your job that you accomplished. Who should I speak to?
Definitely not me, but I got scared there for a second. I thought this was about the pig.
Well, I turn to him and say, you can deal with me if you'd like, but I'm going to say it in Goblin to try to put him at ease and calm him down a little bit.
Okay, so the goblin nods. Now there's a bit of, let me see here for a second. Now for languages, so Gradal, you understand. Janera understands. A theory also understands.
Yeah.
Let me just check for.
Oh, no. That's gonna piss her off. That's gonna piss her off.
Wait, I'm trying to look at your. I am looking at your.
Man. It's not there.
Oh wait, no. Oh yes, okay, yeah. Dagmar is the only one that doesn't understand. Dagmar only knows Common and Orc. But Gradal, Aetheri, and Janera all understand a goblin.
No. She's kind of fisting the pitcher. She's getting really angry. Like her fist is like tightening around the pitcher because she does not know what's going on around her, and she does not like that.
Yeah, I'll just turn I'll turn to Dagmar and say, I'm just saying hello to calm him down. He's obviously nervous.
Okay.
She seems to accept that, but if there's still like a flower in her belt, she like picks it up and fists the flower.
I'll switch back. I'll switch back to Common after saying that originally in Goblin to calm him down. Back.
Okay. So, as a representative, the mayor first hired you in order to solve the murder. It seems you have done so with very surprising results. The mayor did agree to pay you, and I believe the obligation has been paid, and we're just trying to confirm that it's been paid in full and to your satisfaction. Aetheri, you have the bag of gold. Did you ever get to count how much gold was in it?
Because I didn't want to pull it out in the middle of a crowd.
This is your chance. Ask for the biggest number imaginable.
All right. So do we want to just like?
There's endless money in there.
I'll put it on the table and count it. Do we want to?
Okay. I'm gonna roll for myself. Here we go. I have a little metal can, so you can hear me roll them dice.
Okay.
Okay.
How'd my dice go?
There is 18 gold in it.
That doesn't seem like a lot.
How much were we offered for solving the murder from the mayor?
Well, the mayor offered you 25 gold total for the murder. He did not expect the monster. He actually didn't expect you to actually kick in the necessarily kill the murderer. He wanted you to solve it. So if you'd like to negotiate for more, you may.
Yes. I think the fact that it was a monster, we deserve more money.
Yeah. Who's got the best persuasion?
Well, I also have a question too. Is the mayor happy with the outcome? If he didn't expect us to kill you guys to kill the monster, is he happy with that outcome, or would he have preferred that monster to have survived, been captive?
So the representative explains. The mayor is very satisfied that you found the murderer and you put a stop to his crimes. However, the mayor is still processing the idea that one of the guild leaders was a monster. And we are, that is under consideration and may have to go to committee. So there's a bit shaking.
How nice.
Oh.
Take it up the chain of command.
Tonight I am going to write up all the goblin bureaucracy.
Oh no.
This game needs a
Wow.
Wikipedia account.
It does.
So, I want all of you to make insight checks. Why don't you go ahead and do that for me?
Okay.
Okay.
Oops.
Come on, Janera. Roll high, Janera.
Somebody figured things
There we
out.
go. Well, I mean, it's higher.
All right.
Oops.
Okay, let me see.
Okay.
All right, I am going to. Oh wait, no. Oh no. Sorry. Okay. I'm gonna send this to Janera specifically in Discord. Okay. So, for all of you, the goblin looks nervous, and is just asking, "Are you satisfied with the gold that you have? Are you satisfied with your payment? That because the mayor promised you 25 gold. And how much would you like?" See if I can.
Well, I think we should get a little extra on top of the 25. After all, was a monster, so
Yeah, that was for solving it, not killing.
Okay. Let me see. Go. How much would you like, though?
well, let's see. We were offered 25, so I don't know. What do you guys think? You think
100.
100?
25 per person.
Yeah, that seems fair to me.
You say 100? 100? Okay. I guess roll.
Sorry, I had to log back in again.
Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Should we roll intimidation or?
Yeah, sorry. Let me. Okay. Well, how do you want to do this? Are you trying to intimidate him, or are you trying to persuade him? Like, how nice do you want to be about this?
I
Oh,
mean, I think that we could be fairly, nice about it. I mean, we've already like traumatized the mayor enough.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I think the
now.
way that we should negotiate this is that, hey, because he ended up being a monster, it kind of was necessary that we, killed it, because if not, then it probably could have continued to kill other goblins. So I think having a little extra in there to compensate us for having to risk our lives, I think that's fair.
Okay. Let me see. So, and you say the 100? You give him the 100?
Yeah, 100.
Okay.
100.
And we don't want to mention the B word to the people in town, so
Yeah.
Right.
we'll keep it
I mean-
quiet if he gives us 100.
Right, yeah.
Intimidate them. Just be like, well, if you want us to keep us quiet, then you know what to do.
Okay. Okay. I don't know how to use Discord, so I'm just gonna tell Janera in the group chat what her inside got. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So he doesn't know how much he gave us. Do you scared him too much,
this isn't-
Dagmar? He wasn't paying attention.
Pretty funny.
So he's kind of nervous and rubbing his hands because he's like, okay, 100, 100, okay, so that means we owe you
Should we just tell him?
Is there a way Dagmar can roll for, sleight of hand to see if she can grab the bag and then empty it out onto the table, so that kind of like forcing the goblins to count it. It's like adding it all together. Could she do that?
Okay, so you're gonna do it sneakily. So Aetheri has it in her hand, and you're gonna try to like
Oh god.
check it out of her hand.
Yeah,
I don't.
that's fair.
Or just
Well,
yank.
I can just.
I'm making all kinds of enemies without meaning to right now.
I mean, we could just wait. Didn't we just counted it right on the table?
So
That's
okay,
how we
so,
know how much we have in there.
yeah, the group knows how much is in it, but the assistant
Yeah.
doesn't. So he doesn't know how to.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how much he
that's
owes.
better.
You.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
why he's going like 4,
80.
60, 40.
82. Higher.
Okay, so did you just tell him 82?
82. Yeah.
Oh my. Okay. Okay, so he pulls out a little bit of parchment and jots something down, and then him and the guards sort of do an about face and then walk off. Okay, what I want you to start thinking about now is it's now getting later in the day. It's starting to be late afternoon, early evening. It's sort of things are starting to wind down. Just the normal everyday routine of the town is starting to wind down. And I want you to start to think about where you're going to sleep for the night. Are you going to go to an inn? Are you going to go stay with one of the guilds? Since Groudal has an association with the Sheep Friends and the Petal Sniffers, or you could try to stay with at the temple. The temple has some open air places to sleep for those in need. So go ahead. Like, what are your plans for the evening?
Well, I think we should stick together as a group
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
and take a.
We probably should go crash wherever Gradwell stays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like at the
That's
temple?
I think Gretel would probably crash with the pedal sniffers if given his due. It smells much nicer in the Pedal Sniffers Guild than it does in the Sheep Friends Guild.
Fair.
And the Pedal Sniffers is also right next to the Bakers too, which is great for first thing in the morning.
Yes.
So you at the Brewers, from where you're sitting, let's see. So because you're about here, you can sort of look over the buildings and the alleys, and you can see a bit of the Pedal Sniffers guild hall from where you're sitting. And in the evening breeze, you do smell that kind of sweet but a little bit sharp smell of wildflowers and herbs, things like mint.
I think for Dagmar, she's just happy to not be sleeping on the streets for tonight. She's just going with the flow.
Okay. Okay then. So are you gonna walk over there now, or what shall you do now?
I think I want to divide up the money that we have at this moment instead of holding all of it.
Okay.
But I'll get. So there's only 18. I would say give 5 to Gradal, 5 to Genera, and then I'll keep 4 and give 4 to Dagmar. And when we get our 82, then we'll divide the rest. Does that work?
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't
gonna.
want to be
I'm
holding
gonna.
on to the bag money.
Okay. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna step away real quick, guys. So I will just, if you decide to move on, I'll just be following along with you.
Okay.
Okay, be right back.
Okay, so there's a little bit of clink, 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 clink as you divide up the gold coins. Are you gonna tarry here and just like stick around for a little bit as you count up the coins and go real slowly, or are you gonna hustle over to the pedal sniffers, the herbalists?
I think we're done here, right? So we're just gonna go try to find a place to crash.
Yeah. And I would hope at this point that all the pitchers were drained. I hope. And we can get out of there without paying for them.
Chug, 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 chug.
Yeah.
Last call. It's on the hatch. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Well, remember, Gradal already paid, unless you ordered way more orders.
Oh no.
No. We're good.
We're good. More than good. Yeah.
So Dagmar is licking the pictures, possibly licking the table. This is all pretty good. So as you sort of wobbly and unsteadily stand up, okay, you begin to meander your way down the alleys toward the pedal sniffers. Okay. As you approach the building, the building is not very tall, but it is a little bit long, and it's entirely wooden. There are a lot of shutters, a lot of like wooden shutters, and you notice that a large part of the complex is actually a herb garden, and you can smell a large wafts of it coming over you as you walk closer. And it's just this very intense mix of different smells. In my mind, Dagmar is probably the one that's going to get it the most, but to me, it actually would smell like a Chinese herbalist shop if you've ever been in one of those.
I was about to say, I think Dagmar would be sneezing a little bit and just kind of a little bit uncomfortable with all the smells, not used to having so many smells, kind of accosting her.
Okay. Just as a side note, I do encourage you to experience that. It's a very interesting smell. The
Cool.
the reason why the building is all wooden and much shutters is that a lot of the herbs and plants are hanging out to dry. So there are large bundles hanging from the eaves and the ceiling, and some are actually splayed out on the ground, and some are splayed out on the porch. So you go up to it. Let's see. Let's pull up the picture. Let's see. Ah, right there. Okay. Here we go. Here's a picture of the head herbalist. Okay, there we go. So you see some of them tending and starting to close up the building, and putting some things away, because they've been drying in the sun, and they want to make sure that some of the animals or birds don't come and get it. Most of them have bundles sort of tied to them, like this individual has tied to their ears. So you knock on the door, and then they open up, and there's a nice warm shout, "Grandal! Oh, we're so happy to see you. Well, how have you been?" And there's lots of hugging and touching and shaking of hands. Grandal, are you there? Did I lose connection?
Oh, no.
Hope you're
Hello?
there.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Sorry,
All
my audio keeps kicking in and out. Can you still hear me?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can hear you.
So I'm probably just like, hey guys, how's it going? Hey Bob, how you doing? How are the wife and kids and all that sort of thing,
Usual goblin small talk, okay.
Yeah.
And you're doing this in common, right? You're doing it in common?
Yes. I learned my lesson from Deck.
Okay. So, okay. So for the rest of you, are you just standing there watching him talk to the goblins, or are you doing anything specific?
I would say that Dagmar is kind of standing behind Aetheri and Janira, just kind of unsure of what's going on, where she's going to be sleeping that night, and not wanting to kind of overstep or like make a muck of anything, especially as she's like a little bit tipsy.
All right, then. Go for Gretel.
I was just going to say, is the guild leader around? Then I would most definitely know the guild leader's name, I'd assume, right? Hello?
Yes, let me see.
All right.
The Petal Sniffers are led by Cheek Petal Sniffer.
Cheek Petal Sniffer.
Yeah, Cheek.
Okay.
I'm back, guys.
Oh, hey, Janelle.
Hey.
So I'll just be like, hey, is Cheek around?
Ah, yes. He's in the back, getting things ready. and writing down some notes. So they open up the door and they usher you in, and one of the things that you notice is that because there's so many flowers in the herb garden, there are actually butterflies. So there's a few butterflies, or moth, I think moths at this point, sort of flitting about Dagmar's head.
You guys got it out for me today. she's
So-
she's whacking them away. I don't think she's killing any of them, but she's just, you know, kind of moving her hand in front of her face, trying to keep them away as if they were flies.
Okay. So as you walk into this place, it is a very, very strong smell. You see the pestles, the mortars, lots of drawing racks. You see some of the paperwork that they do to keep track of orders. People are bundling them. People are grinding some medicine, and there's a few people at the sort of counter and the window buying some of the medicine and potions and whatever they herbs they produce. So you go to the back and you see Cheek there. Cheek is standing now. Most of the goblins do have the herbs and flowers tied to them. Most of them are at their belts or perhaps in their hair. Like they might have a little like daisies in their hair, or they might have it as a like on their chest, like a sort of badge. Cheek is the only one that happens to dangle it from his ears. The thing that makes him stand out. And so Cheek like brightens up as he looks at you, and looks at Gradal. Gradal, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How are you? How's the family?
Oh, it's fantastic. They're doing well. So what brings you here, Gradal? You're always wandering about. You're always flitting about in those fields. And you're and you never seem to be here in my garden. So, what brings you here?
Well, we're actually hoping that my friends and I might be able to crash just for the night and just have a place to stay.
Oh, okay. Well, we're not an inn, but you are welcome to find any open space in our building here. And it's a summer night. If you'd like, you can also sleep outside in the garden or out on the porch.
I think I'll go ahead and take the garden, and I'll just leave everybody else choose wherever they want to go.
I'm gonna choose a corner of the porch. That's okay.
Okay.
I think for Dagmar, she's gonna exit the guild and kind of rest her back on one of the walls outside just next to the door and just kind of keep watch over the whole building for that night.
Okay. You're gonna stand watch?
Yes. Final answer.
A lot of the goblins kind of look quizzically at you because they haven't seen a lot of half orcs or orcs or just people with large great axes on their back, and you're just leaning against their building.
I'm keeping an eye out for that pig. Just waiting for the pig.
I like it. Dagmar's earning her keep right now. Yeah, go stead watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the goal.
Wait, so Michael's in the garden. I'm guessing he's spread eagle among all the flowers. What was it? Was a theory? A theory? You got the corner porch?
Yeah, I just want to hide in a dark corner
Michael's
of the porch.
Michael's in the garden. I'm guessing he's spread eagle among all the flowers.
Yep.
What what was it? Was it Theory? How about you, Janera? The corner porch?
Yeah, I just want to hide in a dark corner of the porch.
What were my options again?
I'm guessing he's
Hey,
spreading.
roguelike.
You can pick
Yeah.
any part of the building. But this building is basically a storage area for
Yeah, I just wanna
herbs
hide in
and
a-
flowers. And there's drying racks. So there might be some workbenches, but there's not really a bed here.
Okay.
But I mean, you can sleep with amid the flowers. You know,
Okay.
Yeah.
it's nice.
And I assume we've all got bed rolls and the like and whatnot.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go sleep in the flowers.
Okay. All right. So for the most part, the goblin workers are slowly closing up things, closing some shutters, putting the papers away. And that's when Cheek comes in with the assistant from the mayor's mansion. He only has so he comes in with both of the guards from the bank as before, and he's sort of clutching a bundle close to his chest as he walks in, and he's kind of nervous looking around. The hobgoblin guards do have their hands on their weapons as they're led in by Cheek. And he nervously calls out, "Well, everyone, I got the money that you requested that you earned that you're owed. Let's count it carefully. I want to make sure that everything's okay." And so he puts or he holds out the bundle that's in his hands, and I guess holds it out to Gradal.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And please thank the mayor for us, and especially thank him for letting us defuse that tense situation at the crossroads today. That was very helpful.
You're very welcome. The mayor surprises me too every day. Yes.
Well, you figure there's no harm in fucking up, right?
Yeah. Okay. So you're happy then? You're satisfied then, right? There's nervous glances at Dagmar.
She's content. She wants that pig, but she's content.
Okay.
Should we count the bag?
I just want the assistant is just nervous and wants to make sure that you are satisfied, that everything's okay. I triple counted it myself. It's very difficult because I have only 10 fingers and 10 toes, but I did it.
Okay.
So now we distribute the money.
Yes. So, Michael has 5, Janera has 5, Dagmar has 4, Aetheri has 4.
Yes.
So there should be 82 in that bag, right?
Yes.
Okay.
If he truly triple checked.
Okay. So then we'll give 20 to Gradal, 20 to Janera, 21 to Dagmar, 21 to me. Then we all have 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Okay.
Dagmar.
I really lucked out.
There you go. No. Yeah, keep watch. Thanks. You'll learn it.
Persuasion.
So with that, once you check it, the assistant quickly it's like, well, thank you for your work. If we ever need your help again, we'll ask for it. Thank you. All right, and then quickly hustles off with the guards. Okay.
Yeah. As a question, how well do I know Creek's general background? Does he seem a little bit more together than the mayor's assistant? A little bit more hardy and not as easily
is generally among the Goblin leaders. I mean, even the mayor. The mayor is not usually that nervous. But usually the mayor is dealing with the human mayor or other sort of leadership. So it's usually just talking. So you can expect all of the leaders to be calm, composed leaders. For Cheek is a little bit more laid back and calmer than the rest. Not necessarily as careful. He does a good job, but is not as precise as perhaps some of the other leaders.
Right. I'm just thinking about who in town we can trust, because if this bar guest is not an isolated incident, then we might have more trouble, but we also don't want to panic the populace. So I'm really trying to be very careful as to who to tell.
I mean, as you settle in for the night, your deeds are the topic of the town. Every goblin is, I mean, almost every goblin is talking about this now. Cheek also asks you, for your version of the events.
Yeah, and I'd assume that I would tell him flat out the truth. Dennis, you there? DM?
Did we lose him for a second?
Oh.
You got a
We
grad
lost.
dog?
Oh, there
I'm
you
here.
are.
Can you-
Yeah. Oh, is he gone again?
Okay.
I can hear.
Okay.
Okay. So I mean, in theory, Genera, you can pipe in. You can also give your version of events. You're not goblins, so you're not. Your connection with this community is perhaps not as personal as grad dolls, but you are trying. So, is there anything specific that you'd like to be doing? Since this is your first time meeting Cheek.
Are we having an audio?
I think we are
interference?
having an audio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe since it's almost 10, maybe this might be, if we're having audio issues, it might be the time to sign off for the night.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So I guess what we'll do is we'll end it with this: that you are telling Cheek, over some herbal tea and a little campfire, all the stories that you're willing to tell about that happened across the day. You do notice that there are some humans with human guards that walk by. Just one group of them. They walk past you, and they're actually heading toward the butchers, or at least toward the above you. And night falls. You all have the sweetest of dreams.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Amongst the flowers.
That's right.
Just so I
Dagmar,
caught
are you
that-
gonna just fall asleep on the street, or are you gonna come inside?
No, she kind of doesn't trust the rest of the group just yet, and she's she's just kind of cautious. She liked agitating the mayor, but she doesn't know what that means for her specifically. So she's just kind of keeping watch, just making sure that everything's okay. I don't think she really needs
Okay.
to rest. But just to
Well,
clarify,
you need
so
to
you
sleep,
said
though.
yeah, whatever. Just to clarify, so you said a group of humans is walking
Yes.
by. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
About how many humans was that?
Like
maybe,
5 or 6.
Okay, and maybe
Some
what
of
did they
them,
look like? Okay.
yeah, the 3 or 4 of them seem like guards, or at least they have weapons. They seem well equipped. Another 2 of them seem to be like scribes or officials or something like that.
Okay.
Let's see. So Dagmar, are you just gonna sleep standing up?
How else do you sleep? That's
Okay. So I'm just gonna assume that Dagmar, standing on guard, doing her best to both intimidate and be cautious, but all of that alcohol slowly takes over, and her stance leaning against the building slowly but surely slumps further and further and further down until she sort of, with her head in her knees, sort of down on the ground, sitting and snoring. As she's sleeping,
cool.
Cheek closes the door and locks it behind her, and on the way out, leaves a small wreath of flowers on Dagmar's head. And then walks off into the night whistling.
Oh my god.
So beautiful.
She's not even awake yet, but I feel her inner rage.
She's having sweet dreams and she's angry.
She's frolicking through a flowery meadow in her dreams before she kind of like reminds herself, wait a second, I don't like this.
Her off.
And then she just wakes up immediately and she's like, God, that was horrible. And then a petal falls down in front of her face. So she's gonna be agitated when we wake up.
I suspect she's always agitated when she wakes up.
I didn't plan on this, I swear.
That's what makes it a good D&D game. It never goes as planned.
Okay, so thank you all for playing. For all of us who watch this live, thank you all of us who are gonna watch this later. Thank you for watching. If you can, go frolic in those flower fields. And I guess we'll catch you later. All right, I'm gonna turn off the stream.
All right, see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Night.